Welcome to Deep Thought. You know what? It's all about energy. Everything we do out here is energy. Even if it's very physical, it's about the energy and stuff. Everything. Because what is energy? What is energy? It's emotion. It's the power to move. It's how we feel and everything. And everything affects that energy. It affects our emotion. It affects our being, right? And I'm going to get a little deep into that, but I wanted to start with this introduction. Like, everything is energy. Think about, when I walk into my place, I feel a certain energy. I feel a certain calm, right? Like, when you walk into a room, like, okay, you walk into two homes, right? Think about, okay, you walk into one home, it's a pigsty. It's dirty, right? You feel a certain way. You even feel it in your stomach. Yeah, I mean, has people ever gone into like a home of a friend or maybe the parent of a friend, and it's like they offer you some food and you like, no, thank you. Which, as an aside, that's not something to do in the South because it's tough to do because it's just jacked up in there. Like, I remember I went to a boxing party, right? And it was at a house that was like squarely in the hood. And I remember they had like a nice little spread on the table and everything. And, the place was alright. But then I didn't eat anything. It was a good looking spread, but at one point a big old cockroach was walking across the table. And it just killed the energy. It just killed it. It killed the feeling. I was like, And plus, at this particular thing, well, I ain't going to identify it too much. I'm quite sure. In fact, I was there with a buddy and stuff, and we were both like, yeah, we all right for food. But the energy was dead. And then when you go to another home, like I remember I went to a pool party at this place, and it was in Potomac, Maryland. People who are familiar with the D.C. area in Potomac, no, that's a ritzy area. That's a ritzy area, and it was a real nice house. It's like, you go in there, you just feeling good. You just feeling good, nice and clean. Had a pool, everything, and you just feeling like, man. But that's an energy thing, right? And we gotta go as we go through life. We gotta think about our energy, how we feel with certain things. That's why cleanliness is very important because you feel a certain energy. That energy, too, is affected by the smells. Like if you walk into a place, how it smells, that affects your energy, right? It either makes you feel good or whatever. Certain jobs, how do you feel on that job? That's that energy. That's that emotion. You go into some jobs, it got a good environment. Everybody's happy, laughing. Shoot, you want to get work done, right? You want to get work done. It's fun, right? Because the energy is so great, right? In fact, let me use an example. Now, I've said before, I've worked a multitude of jobs. I've worked in the government, but I've also worked retail, right? This one job I had in retail was, for a few years anyway, my most favorite. Now, of course, it was, the main thing, it was just a day job while I worked my business. Right? That was the main thing. It was just a day job to work my business and stuff. I didn't make enough with my business to cover, take care of a family and cover the bills and everything. So I still had to bring in some money. But it was the most fun experience because the people were so great. The energy was so great. It felt great. I couldn't wait to get there. I was just like, man, I should have been doing, even though I had more prestigious and more money-making positions, I felt great here. It felt like family, right? And, as people gradually moved on and, you had different things happening, the energy changed. So it's like, let me work a little bit harder on my main business. Right? But it's energy. It's energy. Like everything. It's like everything affects that energy. Like even how you dress. that affects the energy. When you'll have a different energy when you're dressed up, your clothes are clean. Well, you'll have a different energy just by taking a shower. You ever like the other day, right? Like the other day, I usually take showers before I go to bed, right? But this one day I couldn't because they had some little freak blackout or something, and one, I couldn't see. Two, the water probably would have been cold as hell, right? And, I was like, okay, let me just put on some sweats so I ain't cold up in this joint. But it was a different energy. It's a different energy. You shower, you got clean clothes on, you looking good, right? And even that energy, even when you deal with people, you ever deal with people, you talk to them for a few minutes and you just feel down. That's an energetic thing. And sometimes I'm gonna tell you what, you can get even deep. You can even feel it. You ever have somebody just walk past you? They ain't say anything to you. They might even have a pleasant look. They walk past you, get a shudder. That's energy. That's how deep energy goes to a deeper level. I'm gonna get into that in my next podcast, though. But everything around you, the vehicle you drive, anything that affects how you feel, that's energy. In fact, since I'm known for relationships, let me give you a deep aspect of even how the clothes we wear. The clothes we wear either magnify our energy, our attractive energy, or it either magnifies our attractive energy or it dampens it. I would say it's you either wearing your clothes as a shield. Like, for instance, say a woman has a Coke bottle figure for a body, right? She got nice hair, Coke bottle figure, but she wears loose clothing. Right? Like where you can't really see her figure, right? So the energy around her might be down, right? But then you take the same woman, she decide to put on a mini skirt and some heels or something, then that actually like magnifies her energy. In fact, that's what arousal is just energy, right? And you have some people, they know how to focus on that. That's energy. That's why you can have certain people, they can come in and their energy is just like pow, That's why I'm going to tell you what's deep. You can have one person come into a room and they bring down everyone's energy because of how they are and the effect of it. Then another person come in, it's like pow. It's like some women say, like women, if we want to stick on this relationship theme, like they know when a player comes into the room, and that's because of his vitality. That's because of his energy. Like, people don't realize it. That's a big difference. That's why you can get someone who might on the surface look good, have good bone structure, but they don't move people because their energy is down. Then somebody who probably doesn't have the same level of bone structure, they come in, boom. And that's not even just a sex thing, but just a motivational thing. Like, you get leaders, great leaders can energize people. That's a thing, all right? But everything is about energy, and really our physical bodies are really just a dense form of energy. Every single thing is energy. Every single thing is a frequency. Every single thing, it's just a form of it. It's just a form. And a lot of the tricks, like, people will talk about metaphysics and stuff, or even like quote unquote magic, but a lot of it's just moving energy around and knowing what you're doing. Like, for example, I might do something. When I used to do a lot of public speaking, two colors I would either wear was either white or red. Because red is very arousing. That's an energy thing. In fact, that's why if you look at my books, most of my books, particularly my relationship books, have red in it. And it's interesting how I discovered that. I had mentioned I had written a pamphlet called Finding the Right Man. And that's really got me started as far as the relationship thing. And it was for women. And I would do, I made the pamphlets by hand. And I would use different color paper, blue, pink, red, green, purple, whatever. I noticed the ones I did in red sold quicker. Boom. But that's because it slightly energizes someone. Like you wear certain colors, it can energize people, right? So when I do public speaking, like if I wore white or like a white shirt or something, and if you see any pictures, I got pictures of me maybe doing some panel. I think I got the last major panel I did, which has been a while because I haven't done that in a while. I had on just a plain white shirt, but what that does is kind of project your aura. Now, if I'm doing something, like say I'm doing something in front of women, I'm gonna wear maybe a bright color or something, you know. And it's actually a science to it. It's a science to it. Maybe I'll get into it in a future podcast. But just something to think about. Everything is energy. All about energy. Anyway, something to think about. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace and blessings.